Good morning, welcome back to Morning Live. We'll now take a final look at your sports news for today. Now, netball has been one of the highest participation numbers in the country. For it to come closer though to being professional, there are two individuals who've worked tirelessly in improving the sport of netball in South Africa, and this bond will not be broken anytime soon, not if Ms. Cecilia Molokwane has anything to do with it. Good morning, ladies. We are of course joined by the president of Netball South Africa, Cecilia Molokwane, as well as the CEO of Netball South Africa, Blanche de Legoe. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Cecilia, let me start with you because I am looking at time and I'm worried we're not going to get through everything we want to get through. But we look at this World Cup coming to South Africa from July next year, and we're just saying to ourselves, if this were football, things would have been so different. We would have been hearing football here, football there, and we're not really getting the same type of marketing around the Netball World Cup. And this is something we certainly want to change as women in the sport of netball.
Good morning, Vui. Let me say to you, it's difficult as women. I don't know why is it difficult as women in the country for us to be able to be heard at the right time that we have to be heard with. Because to me, you're correct. We heard about Qatar a long time ago. We knew about Qatar. Qatar is everywhere. But when you hear 2023, it's bits and pieces of 2023. But V, I don't want to blame anyone. I always say it starts with you. Yeah. So it must start with us as women to say, as you sitting here, what do you do for netball to make sure that everybody understands and knows netball? We shout netball as much as we can, me and my CEO and people around netball that I know, they shout netball. However, we cannot do it alone. We have to do it with not only SABC, because you're partners in 2023 Netball World Cup, but we have to do it with all local. To me, it's local radio stations, newspapers. You go and go up until you come to national, where you come to SABC, where everybody talks about netball. To me, if I can see a program that is dedicated to netball every day, people will understand and know that, you know what, on Thursday or on Wednesday, I watch a netball program on TV. It will cover everything. Obviously, it will cover the World Cup. And those that don't understand netball, because obviously not everybody knows netball, understand the rules of netball. Some watch netball just to see the fit girls play. I mean, my girls are beautiful. Take nothing away from them. And they work hard for their bodies. So some just watch to see maybe a future wife or something. But we don't want them to do that. We want them to understand the sport. So as they fall in love with it, and at the end of the day, they become our, number one, number two fans. As men, as ladies, whoever, as grandmothers at home, as much as they could shout Bafana Bafana, I want them to shout Spa Proteas.
Yes, and that's the direction we want to go. Blanche, perhaps we talk about some of the pushback that you've received, not only from commercial partners, not only from just not receiving possibly as much government support as you'd like to have in the sport of netball, but pushback from other administrators as well. Talk to us about those challenges and how you as Netball South Africa have maneuvered around those to get us to where we are now.
Yes, it was quite difficult, the road that we've been traveling, but the relationship and being together and fighting together, not in a bad or negative way, helped us a lot, because women are just not seen as educated, as experienced, and as strong as men. So when we go into negotiations, we have to do so much more, and we have to promise so much more to be recognized and to invest in. The fact that SABC is back with Netball South Africa for the World Cup will help us tremendously. But also SuperSport put us on the map. They were the first ones that broadcasted netball, which made it visible. So the more we will be seen, the more attraction will be for the investors. It's been a difficult road, but I must say we are proud to have the sponsors and the investors that we have, and we keep them. She always say, that we're in a marriage. With no divorce, with no expiry date. So
no retirement.
So I hope that doesn't put them off, to come closer.
Yes.
But no, it's been a tough road. And we hope that the World Cup will change people's perceptions about the ability of this sport, which is the lovely women's sport, but also manage and run professionally. We have come a long way from previous leaders who did it for the love. Now we have improved so much, we've learned from them, but we can now afford to pay people. You know, when I started there were 2 staff members. We are 9 now, so we have grown.
You've made a lot of progress, not only that, but also in terms of just trying to professionalize the sport, giving those professional contracts to Celia, to some of these girls that play. And we speak about the progress that has been made. You've had to make some tough decisions in the position that you're in. I mean, we've got the World Cup starting in July next year. And you had to make the tough decision of changing coach, because you said time and time again, we cannot host a World Cup in South Africa and have our team not have a podium finish. You want to give the team the best possible chance.
Look, it's not about me or UV, and we must always get that into your mind. It's not about Cecilia Molokwane. You know, it's about the pride of the country. We cannot host the World Cup and don't even go to the quarterfinals. Remember, when you're preparing for a World Cup, it's not like you're preparing for a tri-nation or you're preparing for a quad series. You're preparing for a World Cup. This is something that the world is watching and everybody wants to lift the trophy. So to us, it was like, you know what, I always say happy players will give you happy results. Once you get players that are not happy, you will never get the results. I mean, I've talked to players, I've talked to management, I've talked to everybody. We have to read that tough decision as Netball South Africa executive to say, you know what, this is where we should go. If we really want to lift up this trophy, or we want to end up with them on the medal podium, let's do this. Because firstly, we contracted the players to show them that, you know what, we value your commitment to us, and we want to say to you, we want you to commit to us too. And I cannot commit to you when I don't put anything on the table. I mean, even if when you want to get married, that man must say something to you so as you can say yes. So to me, is we put something on the table and they saw that how serious we are, and then they said to us, look, we are here for the country. And now I can tell you, we have a bunch of happy players. I saw them at Quad Series. I saw them recently in Stellenbosch before now we closed. I mean, I was like, and what I loved about what they said to me, and that was said by senior players. They said, President, this time around, we will promise you a medal podium finish. And that, you know, that's what we want to hear. Even though it's tough, you know, because we don't want to contract only 20, 23, 24, 25 players. We want to turn this profession for players to wake up in the morning, to be like football, to be like rugby, to be like cricket, and be paid at the end of the day. But I always say, Rome was never built in a day. But if you want a job done, send a woman.
I love that line. It's my favorite line from you, Cecilia. If you want a job done, send a woman. Talking about Blanche sending a woman, you've recently received an award, your recognition for what you've contributed to the sport of netball. Tell us more about this and how important that power of recognition really is when you're making the right strides.
You know, you can never do it on your own. There's so many people that's part of your journey. When I heard that I was the receiver of this wonderful Hollywood's Achiever Award, I thought for a moment, and she was handing it over to me, and she never even told me. Yes. So, and we share everything, you know, but that one she didn't share. I thought for a moment I was overwhelmed because it's the end of my career after the World Cup. And what a, you know, ideal time to receive this. But I thought, how lucky am I to receive an award for something that I love so much to do. My work is absolutely a pleasure. And it was since the day I started in 2006. And it's still like that. But I'm ready to give it over to somebody with new ideas and coming in with assisting to be, for us to be commercially more stronger, and then the dream, you know, to become fully professional on the sports side. I feel our administration is quite on par, but on the sports side. So yes, I'm ready to go and play in the sand with my grandchildren.
Oh, Blanche, thank you so much for your time this morning. Also you, Cecilia. And congratulations really on the work that you've done. I know that we say we still have a long way to go, but we must take this moment to commend you for everything that you've done and contributing to the sports of netball. And we look forward to seeing what else you're still going to do. We know you have a lot up your sleeve. Blanche, you still have some time before the end of the World Cup. We
Somebody
look
must
forward
take
to that.
care of her.
Thank you so much. Now, do you remember the Netball World Cup, of course, does kick off on the 28th of July. It goes all the way up until the 6th of August. Everything will be happening in Cape Town. Do grab yourself those tickets, because if you want to be there, those tickets are selling quite fast. Do make sure that you get tickets. 28th of July up until the 6th of August. And we were, of course, joined by the president of Netball South Africa, as well as the CEO, who says she will be bidding farewell to the sport after the World Cup. That's how we wrap up your sports news for today. We'll do it all over again tomorrow for your sports news on Morning Live. And good morning. My name is Vusiwe.